we are going to burn up, choke up, heat up, and smoke up this planet so much faster than anyone realizes when it's flat, as opposed to when it was round. The world has never seen 3 billion people, and God bless them, move from low-impact energy and environmental lifestyles to high-impact energy environmental lifestyles in this short period of time. So the flattening of the world makes green hugely important, both economically and obviously in terms of climate. The flattening of the world also is stimulating a huge competition. Competition in the retail space between Walmart and Costco and Tesco and Kmart and Target. And that competition, that intense competition over every penny, is making companies like Walmart discover green as a whole new competitive edge. They're discovering that dirty is waste, and waste means higher prices, and higher prices in a flat world means you get creamed economically. So the flattening of the world is actually driving green in that way as well. The most important way the flattening of the world is driving green, though, is, I believe, this is the foundation of the next great industrial revolution. Green, clean power. For one very simple reason. You cannot make a product greener without making it smarter. You cannot make a toaster, a microwave, a car greener without making it smarter. What do we still manufacture in this country? We manufacture things that are smart, that have a lot of knowledge embedded in them. What do they make in China and India? Well, they're now focused on making things that are cheaper. What does that mean? That means to the extent that we shift the whole global debate to green, to making green part of the DNA of every product, we shift the whole global economy toward jobs that are much more difficult to outsource. We shift it from dumb jobs to knowledge jobs. Now, the best example I can give you of this is Erie, Pennsylvania. Erie, Pennsylvania, in the heart of the American Rust Belt, today has a trade surplus with China and Mexico. Well, how could that be? Erie, Pennsylvania? Are you sure, Tom? Yes, I'm sure. It's all because of one company, GE Transportation, which has 4,500 employees in Erie, Pennsylvania. And what does GE Transportation make with its 4,500 engineers who make almost twice the average wages in Erie? GE Transportation makes choo-choo trains. It makes locomotives, okay? And it sells locomotives to a locomotive train country called China. Why? Because on a total ton-pulled basis, GE's locomotives are so smart and so energy efficient, even though China sells its locomotives for 30% less, it's more efficient for China to import locomotives from GE Transportation. You can't make a product greener without making it smarter. So when I hear people say, we can't afford to be green, that's utter lunacy. We can't afford not to be green, because the next great pool of manufacturing jobs are going to be green, smart jobs. Mom, Dad, tell your kids, anything green is going to have a good upper middle class job associated with it. So those are the main reasons, I would argue, that green has gone mainstream. People see all that. But why hasn't it gone down Main Street? And it really hasn't. We haven't made any real inroads on this huge-scale project. Well, the reason it hasn't gone down Main Street is really very simple. And yes, I do like to simplify things, especially when people make them more complicated than they need to be. And the reason green hasn't gone down Main Street is because to get down Main Street, how do you have a revolution at scale? You take capital and you connect it to new technology. Capital and new technology. That's what the IT revolution was all about. It was capital with new technology. But the Green Revolution is different from the IT revolution. Because the Green Revolution needs government policy in the middle to connect capital and technology at scale. And where the huge roadblock is. People say we need to drill for oil in Detroit. No, no, no. We need to drill for oil in Washington, D.C. All right? Because the biggest impediment to a real green revolution today is the Congress, both parties, okay, and Washington, D.C., starting with the White House. We are not connecting, that's okay, it's not crossfire, it's late. We are not connecting capital with technology at scale, and this is a scale game. People write me all the time, come see my hot air balloon, it turns a wheel, it milks a cow, it produces clean methane. I love you, okay? But it's not going to happen at scale without that thing called policy in between. Why is that? It has to do with the very unique nature of the project we're engaged in. And again, Nate Lewis taught me this. Let's say I invented the first cell phone. A phone you could carry in your pocket. I came to my friend David Bradley. I said, David, I have a phone you can carry in your pocket. He says, Tom, I'll take 10. That phone, a phone I could carry in my pocket, that would change my life. I'll take 10. I say, David, they're going to cost $1,000 each. He says, no problem. That would change my life. I sell 10 to David, 10 to John, 10 to Walter, 10 to all the folks up here. I take all that money. I come back 6 months later. I say, David, remember that cell phone? Now I got one. Only costs $900. Smaller, better range. I moved down the innovation curve. Now I'm on a roll. A couple years later, I come back to my friend David. I say, David, remember that cell phone I sold you? I got something else now. See that light up there? I'm going to power that light with solar power. David says to me, Tom, that cell phone you sold me, that changed my life. You may have not noticed, I already have light. I really don't care where the electrons come from. That's the problem here, folks. As Nate says, people say this is a moonshot. The energy revolution's like a moonshot. Yeah, it's like a moonshot when Southwest Airlines already flies to the moon and gives away free peanuts. David Bradley already has cheap light. So unless the government, the policy thing in between capital and technology comes along and says, David, from now on you are going to have to pay $110 a month for that light because you're going to pay for the CO2 it's emitting in the atmosphere. Then when I come along and say, David, I've got a solar light for 100, he says, I'll take 10. And I sell 10 to him and 10 to Walter and 10 to John, and I take all that money, I come back 6 months later with a solar light for $90. That's how you get scale at the China price. And what's not happening today, folks, is that policy change in the middle. Did you follow the energy debate in the Senate 2 weeks ago? Well, they finally twisted enough arms that we will now finally, after 32 years, have new CAFE mileage standards. Are you ready? Have you fastened your seatbelts? That by the year 2020 will bring us almost to where Europe is today. Oh, thank you. All the other stuff, renewable portfolio mandates for every state, 23 of them already have, but it would be nice if they were a federal mandate, killed.